Hey, hey, welcome everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hey, Becky, it's just me and you for a moment. So let's get us up on the screen and start with some announcements. I'm going to remove that little screen. Hey, Becky, how you doing?
Hey, I'm
Hey,
great.
everybody. I'm good. I'm good. So Becky and I have some announcements to start out for you all. First of all, if you're new tonight, everybody starts out muted, so that's normal. So a couple of things. First of all, tomorrow night, there is still room for group coaching. So group coaching session is tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, live in person. And if you tried to register today and it said sold out, I apologize. I forgot to bump up the number of spots available. And so that's been fixed. And so you can try again. I have put the link in the chat box, and I'll do it again by the end of the night. But if you'd like to join us, there is no cost to group coaching. A lot of you have asked about that. That is something that we used to charge for. That is something that is provided by Battlefield Addiction, provided by Art at Rebuild Recovery. And there is no charge for it. This is a service that Art with Rebuild Recovery is providing for Battlefield. And through your donations that come in throughout the year, it allows services like that to be provided. So we thank Art and Rebuild for providing that service to us. And we had our first one 2 weeks ago, and it was great to see people live and in person for the first time in 2 years. And we're excited to continue. We'll probably have it approximately twice a month or so. New dates for the next will always just kind of come out as we go. But sign up for tomorrow night if you can make it. It's at 6 o'clock in Kent. Spots still available, so please join us. And Becky, what do you got for us tonight?
Well, I will just kind of piggyback off you a little bit and talk about group coaching for just a second, because if there are new people tonight or people haven't done it before, my husband, Bill, and I, who's off camera over here, we've done both. We've done private coaching and we've done group coaching. It's really great. I think the big benefit of group coaching is that you, as you're watching other people being coached, you can see yourself. Basically, you learn a lot that way. Plus, it's just great to be with a group of people that understand exactly what you're going through. I was there last week, and I think it was just really great introduction. And I'll be there tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to it. So if there is room and you want to go, please message Angie, because I don't think you'll be disappointed. And then tomorrow at 11 a.m. we have our mom's coffee group. We're called The Mob. And you don't have to be a mom. It's mostly ladies. It's pretty much always ladies. But 11 a.m. tomorrow on Zoom. And you can get the link in the chat if Angie or someone can type that in. Or you can message either Angie at battlefieldaddiction.com or Becky at battlefieldaddiction.com, and we'll send you the link.
Yes, join us. We have a good time. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. So anyway, that's all I've got.
Awesome. Thanks, Becky. And I have one more thing, and that is Run for Recovery. So our Run for Recovery is happening live in person. We're super excited about that. That's going to be on Saturday, May 7th, Mother's Day weekend. And we're going with the same tradition. And we're going to be launching that on the first day of spring, which is March 20th. And so we'll be rolling out the details on March 20th. Registration will go live that day. And as I shared last week, I'm looking for a solid. No, actually at Mom's Group, we decided that, you know what, I don't know why I limited it to 10, because we have way more than 10 people raising their hands saying, absolutely, I'll do anything. I'll spend an hour on the 20th helping. So I'm just actually just saying, hey, everybody that can spend an hour on March 20th, if you can just shoot me a message and say, sign me up for the launch team, I'm in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you kind of a template message that has the details. You can customize it on your own. It's basically what I'm going to send to my people. You can make it your own. You can copy exactly the same, or you can start scratch and do your own thing. But I'll just help with some copy and paste to make it really easy for you to send out a message to all of your friends on if you're on social media, maybe you're not on social media, all your email list, text list, your friends, your family, in-state, out-of-state, all the above. We want to have a big launch. That first 48 hours of launching is important because the more more we get in the news feeds, the more that the social media channels detect that we're like important information, like the algorithm. The more interaction we get, the more it's going to pump it out to people that are beyond Battlefield. We want our entire Battlefield family there live for this event on May 7th, of course, but we also want to reach beyond Battlefield. We want to reach people out in the community that just want to walk or run for a good cause. There are competitive people out there that look for runs, and then there are people that just are looking for a nice leisurely stroll and a community event and getting out of the house finally with no masks and fresh air and people. So all the above, but that first 48 hours of the launch, we just want to make it really big so we get lots of registrations in. And so if you're willing to be one of the launch people that really puts that 1 hour in, shoot me a message so I can make sure you get that template for me. And I'll be sending it out to the masses anyways, and anybody can copy and paste it. I'm just looking for kind of those solid people that I know that we can count on that day, so I can kind of help you that day and be here available too. So, so that's coming. We're really looking forward to it. So, all right. Thank you, Becky. Let's move on over and find Kyle, our comedian. Mr. Kyle Munkers. He's a manager over there at Rebuild Recovery, but he also brings us our comedy every Tuesday. He starts us out with a little laughter. So take it away, Kyle.
Okay.
Ooh. Testing. Okay, I'm not hearing you. Oh, I hear myself.
Hello? No?
Nico.
Good. There's thumbs up.
Okay. I need to hear an affirmative. Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Okay, yeah. I didn't want to hear my voice back again. I think we're good now.
Right. My roommate keeps telling me that he's a compulsive liar. I don't believe it. How does the moon cut his hair? Clips it. Somebody once explained to me the word many. It meant a lot.
Oh, yeah.
This is the last one. I don't have very many this week. The doctor told me that I had to stop masturbating. I asked him why. He goes, because I'm trying to examine you.
Yes.
No PG.
Oh gosh. Okay. Thank you, Kyle. All right. We're ready. Take it away, Art.
So I'm going to try to not be, I'm going to try my best to not be motivational or inspirational, even though my life right now, I'm pretty motivated and inspired, and it's hard not to do that, but I'm not a big fan of motivational and inspirational usually. But anyways, last night we talked in here about, all the things that or somebody could do when they're looking back at their life and see why they became an addict, and the looking into that of what, for me, it was this like real deep investigation, and maybe it was stupid, maybe it was irrelevant, maybe it didn't matter, but to me it did back when I first got sober, that I would figure out kind of what happened to me and why I would sacrifice my life for the use of drugs, and what would cause me to give that up or give up all the other things in my life. And at 37 years old, I was behind everyone in my life. I was behind all my friends. They had homes and beach houses and retirement packages and careers, and I didn't have any of those things, and I was desperate to see why. And for me, what I kind of figured out was that my addiction was an identity crisis. It was just this thing that I became an addict because it was a cool alternative. It actually was a viable route to go down, that people would acknowledge that I was, I think people saw that I was like edgy. People saw that I was willing to go to different lengths than them. People saw all those things when I was in school and college, and they saw the way I drank. and I always outdrank everyone, and that was a big sticking point. We need to sit down. If we start talking about drinking, I'm going to tell you that I can outdrink you. I can drink you under the table, and I was only like 100 pounds, but I could outdrink you, and to the point of my own death or close to it. And I think that at some point when you have an addiction as an identity crisis, and I believe it to be true for most people in this room too. I believe that it's not a case of trauma. It's not a case of abuse or neglect. It's for the most part, middle class America, entitled, and an identity crisis, meaning I don't have anything to base my identity on. I don't have anything good going in my life, anything that's so valuable that I'm not willing to give up. I don't have a career path. I'm not a classical pianist. I'm not going to be an actor. I'm not going to be a model. I'm not going to be a football player. I'm not going to be any of these. I'm not going to be a lawyer. I'm not going to be all these things that you would see to be a viable path. And then all of a sudden you decide, well, being a junkie isn't that bad. And at some point the identity begins to fail you, and the addiction really takes over, and now you're screwed. And that happened to me. What I forgot to mention about my identity crisis, though, there was something that went along with it my whole life. From the time I was a kid, I was always small, but what I did with that was I wanted to be tough. So there was this underlying thing that I was tough, and there was another underlying thing that I was a fighter. So from the time I was 5 or 6 years old, I started punching people in the mouth, and that's literal. I wanted to fight all the time. And when I got into high school and I started drinking, I fought almost every weekend, to the point where, and I'm not telling you that to tell you that I'm a good fighter. I'm telling you that to tell you that I fight. That's it. And what happened was I ended up getting hospitalized too many times from these fights. And my father, and that was through high school and my first year of college, and my father finally came to me and said, please stop fighting. You're no good at it. But I continued to punch the biggest guy in the mouth. And I'm talking upwards of 50 times in fights, and always getting beat up. And then maybe one or two every now and then. But for the most part, to the point of hospitalization. But underlying this identity of somebody that would be a drug addict was also a fighter. And I was always a fighter. And I forgot to mention that last night. So I wanted to tell you guys that that was part of who I was. And I was small, so I like that too, because, you know, people didn't think you were tough, but just, it didn't matter, because if you're small, you could lose the fight and still people thought you were cool for just fighting. Mm-hmm. So when somebody asked me if I wanted to fight, I always said yes. I would love to. I would love to fight. I would love for you to try to kick my ass. I don't care how bad it hurts. I don't care. Let's go, please. And that's just how I was. So lately I've been watching, and we said last night, we said that if addiction was a case of a identity crisis, then maybe it's not therapy we need. Maybe it's not like years of meetings. Maybe we need to build a new identity. Maybe we need to build upon our identity and put something good out there that we want to get to the world, and have something we want to be known for, something we're not willing to give up, something we're not willing to like throw away because of drugs. This is who I am. So we didn't talk about this last night, but you know, when watching the Ukraine and Russia thing, I don't know much about the Ukraine and Russia thing, so I'm not an expert. I don't know anything about it, but I saw a 60 Minutes thing. And, you know, we do know that Russia invaded the Ukraine, and I do know that I didn't know much.
You're muted. I don't know why. All of a sudden you're muted. Okay. You said you watched 60 Minutes.
Oh, yeah. So I watched 60 Minutes, and, you know, one thing Russia wasn't bargaining for, it seems, when they went and started to bomb the Ukraine, they weren't bargaining for what the Ukraine was going to do. I think that they thought the Ukraine was just going to roll over and give up. And I think they even had a timeline of something like 3 days until they had the country or whatever it was. And it's just gone on. And there was this interview where they were standing on the border of the Ukraine, and people were filtering back into the country, the men. And it was on 60 Minutes. And they asked this man, they said, how come you're going back? He was a Ukrainian man. And they said, how come you're going back? And he goes, well, I've got to go fight. And then the guy goes, well, why specifically you? Why are you going back? And he said, if it's not me, who? And I thought, Jesus, that is so goddamn cool that this guy. And then I thought something also is cool that the Ukrainian people are exiting all the women and children out, and men 18 to 60, they're electing to stay. They cannot leave. Yeah. They have to stay. And I thought, Jesus, would we do that as a country? What would we do if we are attacked? Would we tell the women and children to go, and would we stay and fight? Now, I think that's goddamn cool. I think that's something we do, but I think we'd start blaming each other. We'd whining about who has to stay. We'd start saying, I should get to leave. We would dodge. And to see what I came to after last night, what I realized was, I asked you guys and I told you, you're going to have to build an identity. But guess what? Identity is built upon fight. So the Ukrainian people right now, what they're doing is building an identity. We know who they are now. You know who those people are. They're badass people. They're standing, the men said, women and children, get on the buses, get out of here. We'll stay and die for our country. They're building their identity upon a fight. And what I've noticed, and I'm going to tell you guys, I noticed, and there ain't no fucking fight. Where's the fight? In your life right now, you're going to have to fight for what you're going to get. What are you currently fighting for in this room? What are you guys fighting for? What is your fight right now, and how are you fighting it? Tell me. And if you can't tell me how you're fighting, you're out, fuck off. But we're sitting here, and you think you're going to get anything in this world without a fight? And we're looking over at the Ukraine like we're better than them. They're better than us. They're doing something. They're fighting. We're sitting over here bitching, complaining. So what I see, I ran the big house for 7 years. I ran the big house, and I said it all the time over the 7 years. There was 3 fist fights. I couldn't believe it. 3 in its entirety, fist fights. There should have been hundreds. There should have been so many. I can't believe it. When I was a kid, we fought over video games, fist fought about who was winning the video game. We fought over Monopoly. We fist fought over women. Daily, we fought over our women. We had to fight for a woman. We had to fight for our grades. We had to fight for a car. We had to fight for everything. Where's your fight? And that's what our identity is. Your identity that we're talking about, rebuilding your identity. Your identity will be based upon some struggle. Now, the problem that I'm seeing is people are okay with the story being their identity. They're okay with this happened to me. I'm done. And I'll just tell the world what happened to me for the rest of my goddamn life. And they're okay with that. What happened to you? Well, I became an addict. Then what? Well, that's it. That's like the Ukraine saying, well, we got invaded by Russia. Then what? Well, we gave them our country. It's not your identity is not created by the problems that happen to you. It's not created by the struggle. Everyone runs around and says life's a struggle. No, it's not. Life is beating a struggle. Life is constantly beating a struggle. It is saying every day, yeah, there's a struggle and I'm going to beat it. That was 10 years ago struggle and I beat it. Not I've struggled for the same thing for 10 years. Not I've struggled for the same thing for 30 years. Not I'm sad today because 20 years ago I lost my mom. Not anything like that. There's a new struggle every day. And to see, I'm inspired by like everything that you have to fight for. And you have to fight to keep it. Not only do you have to fight to buy a house, you have to fight to keep it. Not only you have to fight to buy a car, you have to fight to keep it. Not only you have to fight to get a girlfriend, you got to fight to keep her. Everything you do, you got to fight. And I don't see the fight. I'm sorry, I'll call you out. I don't see the fight. Where's the fight, Gage? Where's the fight? Come on, let's bring it. You ain't fighting. You think you're going to beat addiction and drugs without a fight? I have to fight to keep 2 pounds off. It is a fight every day to keep away 2 pounds. I have to fight to eat. I have to fight to fucking take care of my teeth. I have to fight to take care of my clothes. You have to fight. So if you want to build an identity with no fight in it, what is it? And people are it's just okay now with the story. I became an addict. That's your story. Then what? What the fuck did you do? What did you do about it? I got fired. Then what? Nothing. No. Oh, I went down and I punched my boss in the mouth. That would be cool. Something. I lost my kid to addiction. My kid became an addict. Then what? What did you do? What did you do after? It's not about what happened to you. The story isn't the story. It's who you are in the story that builds the identity. It's how you handle it that builds the identity. Your identity isn't built upon what happens to you. So we're talking in this room about rebuilding an identity. About, listen, you can tell me you don't want to be known for something, but you're lying. And you can't lie to me. But you do. You want to be known for something. Well, guess what? And I think what's taking the fight away is the phone. It's pure and simple. Because when struggles are happening in our life, we have to pay attention to our life. When struggles are happening, you got to put the goddamn phone away and do something about it. You can't just go on like watching fucking TV today. You're in a fight. Don't you know you're in a fight? You're losing. Don't you know you're losing? You're in sober living. Something that it might, and I'm sorry, tonight I'm not nice. But if this was 1950, you'd be this is an insane asylum, and they'd be giving you a lobotomy. They'd be telling you your fucking life's over. You'd be in a loony bin. And there's no fight. You want to watch Netflix? Fuck you. Turn it off. You want to watch TikTok all day? Wait till you get your own goddamn house. Wait till you fought hard enough to have a house before you sit and watch TikTok. This is a fight. Your identity is going to be somebody who watches your phone. That's what you're going to be known for. Simple. A gamer. You're a gamer? Good. Name the most famous gamer in the world. Okay, not maybe somebody in here might be able to, but name one gamer from anybody that's respectable. I don't know if there's a homeowner in America that can name one gamer. There's a lot of people that don't own homes that can name all the fucking gamers. Mm-hmm. But if you own a home, you don't got time to know who the biggest gamers are in America. You don't have time to know who the influencers are. Who's an influencer on TikTok? I don't know. What's your mortgage lending company's name? Once you know that, that's what you're going to have to learn to fight. This is a fight. What are you fighting for? Are you fighting for a job right now? Are you fighting for food? Are you fighting for anything? The Ukrainian people are fighting. They're having a fight just to live, to eat, to survive, to have a home, to do anything. And it's really, really beautiful to watch them. They're not bitching. They're not complaining. So you want to act, what does a fight look like? A fight looks like a fight. A fight looks like you're going to sit and focus on something until you fix it. It looks like coming up with a strategy. It's saying, this is what I'm working on right now. Everyone shut up for a second. I'm working on something. Can you all shut the fuck up while I work on it, please? What are you working on? No, turn the rap music up while I fucking do this. That's not a fight. And we have to fight. You have to be able to say, where's the toughness? Where's the heart? Who's tough in here? Are you tough? Show it. Beat this thing. If you can't beat it, you ain't tough. But you're going to have to show it, and you're going to have to prove it. The world ain't just going to grant you you're tough. I don't care how many times you get your ass kicked. I don't care if you're here. You should be here. But what I care about is the fight that you're doing while you're in the fight of your life. And everyone else in your life, if you're in this room, everyone else in this room, everyone else in your life knows you're in the fight of your life. And you're watching TikTok. That's fucking insane. You're looking at videos about cryptocurrency. That is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. But you're in the fight of your life, and you better know it. You better understand that not many people make it out of the predicament you're in. They don't. The story of drug addiction is not, I got clean and became a millionaire. That's the exception for very, very few people. And the people who did do that are goddamn fighters. The story of addiction is I became a liar, an addict. I started hurting my family. I never stopped, and I died and went to prison. That's the story. That's the story for most. So the fight, we're not bringing it. But you have everything. If you don't want your identity to be tough, to be a fighter, what do you want it to be? And that's the whole world right now. That's the whole America. Who's fighting? They're not fighting, they're blaming. There's nobody saying, hey, shut up, shut up, shut up. There's not a politician saying, everyone shut up, I'm working on something right now, I got a plan. Not one of them. And that's supposed to be our leaders. They're saying he did that, blaming. There's been 3 fist fights in this program since we opened it up a year ago, 3 compared to the whole 3 that went 7 years. And the 3 fist fights that have happened here are because we stirred it up in group and we started fighting with each other. And the fist fights and the energy spilled out into the yard. And guess what? I didn't stop any of the fights. I encouraged them. Right here. Because I want to see it. I want to see people fighting nowadays. I'd like to see a fist fight. I'd like to see people getting angry. I'd like to see somebody care about their life enough to be tough. I'd like somebody to scream and say, fuck you. Anything, do anything, just something not on your phone. Something not with the television. Something that's a fight. I think that we're here, and if you're not seeing that your identity is not, and people are too okay. We are too okay in our country just having a problem and having the story be the story. That's it. I have a problem. My identity is now that I have that problem. That's it. No conquering it, no beating it. My father was tough. My father had emphysema, and I talk about cancer survivors and how that kind of offended my mother. And you know, my mother fought hard and she just didn't survive. And I didn't like it when they used to show cancer survivors on TV, because I wondered what they did differently than my mother did, because she ate right and she fought and she slept and she got up and she walked and she did everything, exercise, and she did everything that they told her to do, and she didn't make it. But on my dad with emphysema, you could see the fight every day. He had it he got it when he was like 58 years old, and he made it to like 70, I believe. And he had it for 12 years. And when I say that my dad had like 18% of his lung use is all he had left. And so when he walked, every step he'd go, just to walk one step. And he had oxygen on the entire time, and he had to fight every single day to live, just to live. And I just see that we have taken the fight out of America. We've taken the fight out of each other. We've taken the whole fight out of everyone. And I look around and can't find anyone fighting. Can't find anyone fighting for anything. Just thinking it should just be handed. Just thinking you should get to keep it. Oh, and if anything offends anyone, they got to just point out how offended they are. If you're so offended, how come you don't punch somebody? That's how we used to handle it. Hey, watch your mouth. You just pissed me off. Boom. That really cleaned up people's mouths. It worked. That's what you did. As a young kid, we knew. Watch how you talk to each other, because you might get popped in the mouth. And it's just gone. The system is broken down. Would we? Is it okay? Would the women and children even be okay in America leaving and letting the men stay? Or would that be some issue with inequality? What would happen? Would we have some inequality issue that we would have to sit and debate for 10 years before we figured out who to stop, who's the country that's invading us? What would we do? Seems pretty old school, old fashioned. Women and children don't have to fight. We men anymore? I think it's fine. I think it's pretty cool. But man, if you turn on the stuff in the Ukraine right now, and if you turn it on, you will see fight. Inspiring. It is. The president of the Ukraine, the everything he's saying, the men going there.
The president's out there.
He's out there, and they didn't expect. Yeah, and what's cool is an overpowering country like Russia didn't know what they got into. They didn't know what was gonna. They thought it was gonna be easy. And this is your life. Where's the fight? You know, and what does it look like to fight? It looks like, hey, listen, I'm working on something here. I got to pay attention to my life right now. In times of fight, what do you think? Do you think that they're in Ukraine? They got time to look at their phone right now? You think they're watching Netflix? They're not, because it's time to fight. And I think here, I don't know, man. I love it. The last 2 years of my life's been a fight. I loved every day of it. I've loved every day of the fight. Not only have I fought for everything that I got the first time, I had to fight for it again. And I'm still fighting. And I'll probably have to, and guess what? Our life's better when we're fighting. Go ahead and look at your life and look at the times you're fighting for something and look at the times you're not. Tell me which is better. Sitting every day, not fighting for anything. And here, it ain't about what happened to you, man. Everyone wants, that's this whole addiction thing, sitting around talking about what happened to you. And no one goes, wait, stop. What did you do? Accountability doesn't mean, oh, yeah, I made it. It's my fault. No, it means, what did you do? What did you do to be accountable? What did you do to fix it? What did you do to not be a victim? What did you do to stop blaming? What did you do? Is that going to be your life story? This happened to me. And then 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 this happened to me. Stop. What did you do? I think addiction for me was like, it was cool. I kind of wanted to see if I could take it on. To be honest, I really did. I thought I'll become an addict and I'll get clean too. I did. I remember thinking that way. Oh, some guy's got a heroin problem that took him out in life? That ain't shit. I'll get a heroin problem and beat it. It's just easy. What else is there to do? That's the coolest shit I ever saw, was to beat a drug problem. I don't know anything cooler. You got the coolest fight there is. Now all you got to do is just win. People that have beat drug addiction problems are cooler than people that haven't. You haven't noticed that yet? I have. But you got to beat it now. Guess what? You can't use drugs anymore. When? Poor babies. You can't fucking use drugs. My dad was great. He called me Baby Art every time I used. Oh, Baby Art needed his bottle today. That's what he would say. Baby Art needed his little bottle. Baby Art doesn't care about anyone else but himself. Baby Art was, that's what he would say to me. And that's what I was. Oh, little babies needing their bottle. It's exactly what it looks like too. You ever seen a little baby screaming for its food? Wah, wah, wah. As soon as they get the bottle, their eyes open. That's a drug addict. There's no difference. Little babies needing their bottles. Making the whole world suffer until you do. Not fighting in the meantime. That's what I did. I was a baby needing my bottle. Who's fighting? Ron DeSantis? Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. He's fighting. You know who that is? He's the governor of Florida. Kicking ass. Mm-hmm. Someone's fighting. I don't care which side of the aisle they're on. If I see somebody with a plan, somebody fighting. I don't know. I think you want a good identity, you better be tough. Don't you want toughness rolled up in there somewhere? Don't you want resilient rolled up in there somewhere? Badass, something. That's what I wanted rolled up in my identity. The number one thing you just couldn't call when me and my friends were fighting, the number one thing you couldn't be, there was only one thing you couldn't be as a kid. We all know what that is. You just couldn't be a pussy. Yeah. Was it. As boys growing up, there was just one thing that you couldn't be. You and your friends, you sat around, and the only thing you can't be is a pussy. Oh, you're not gonna eat. That was it. Oh, you're not gonna fight him? Pussy. That was how it was. Not gonna jump off that cliff? Pussy. You're not gonna go talk to her in the bar? Pussy. That was what we said every time. Don't call me that. And then you got up and went. Where's that? I hope I don't know. And that's every night. It seems more and more on these nights. That's kind of what I've been leading up to every night. Fight. If you want your family, fight for it. If you want connection, fight for it. If you want your kid to not be a drug addict, fight for it. Fight for it with truth. Fight for it with thoughts. Fight for it with honesty. Fight. We're all in a fight. Not as much as the Ukraine, but theirs is way cooler. It is so cool seeing those guys going back to the country. Just grabbing a rifle. They're just grabbing a rifle and heading in. It's cooler than watching your phone. Inventing Anna on Netflix. People don't even know what that is. See, I still have time for Netflix. Maybe somebody on here has been watching Inventing Anna. Yeah, there you go. Great. Ha! I watch it at like 2 a.m. though when I'm up. Yeah. I'm ready to fight. But I see it. I don't know. I guess every generation looks back at the generation after them and says, you guys suck at something. I think that there's a lot of things that the generation is amazing at that's after us. I think the music's cool. I think the clothes are cool. I think that the way that they are with technology is cool, but I just think they're a bunch of pussies. I think you guys are pussies. I don't think you fight. I don't think anyone punched you in the mouth hard enough when you were a kid. I don't think anyone bullied you. And, bullying really helped my behavior, man. You know what I mean? You know what? Remember the term, if you don't know bullying, then you never knew the term floods either. Your mom bought you a pair of pants and there were floods. You know what floods are? It means they're too short. It means your mom bought you pants that were too short and you looked like a goofball, and then you ended up at school and people started telling you had floods on. Yeah. They started bullying you and telling you look like a dipshit. It made you alter the way you dress really quickly.
They weren't floods, it was high waters.
High waters, no, they were flood, but we called them floods too. You showed up at school with the Kmart brand Nikes. You didn't do that again. Got so pissed at your mom. Yeah. Mom, I need the real shit. I'm gonna get bullied.
And one fucking Jordan.
Yes.
Yeah. I went to it was like, I think it was 4th grade, and Space Jam just came out. And my mom got us these purple shoes with the Space Jam characters on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to be fun for those.
Yeah.
They're probably worth like $1,200 now.
They were there.
You guys ever remember the Travis Bailey story?
Which one?
Yeah.
Which one?
Travis Bailey was 11 years old and he was filled with freckles.
Oh, freckles, yeah.
And this is at this time there's a pure and innocent Travis Bailey, and he believes wholeheartedly in everything his mother says. So the kids mess with him at school and call him freckle face or whatever they call him, and he's really upset. So Travis goes home and he tells his mom, I'm screwed here. I got all these freckles and the kids are teasing me. And his mom goes, oh, honey, don't worry. Your freckles are just kisses from angels. Angel kisses. And so Travis got real pumped up and he believed his mom. And he went back the next day with that dumbass story to the kids. So now when the kids were picking on him about the freckles, Travis said, you guys need to stop. These are angel kisses. Well, that, you know what that led
Got
to?
worse.
That led to a beating.
Nickname was Angel Kisses.
Yeah, that led to a beating, which in turn led to this non-trusting Travis that never believes anybody from here on out. Ever since that day, Travis will not believe anything anyone tells him. You know, not even his own mother. But that was it. We got beat up. You had to fight. You know what the big one was? We're fighting after school at 3:00. You know what the anxiety was like that day?
Everybody's coming.
Everyone's coming. I remember it. I have to go and I have to meet this guy, and he's gonna probably kick my ass in front of everyone, and it's like 4 hours away. That's an agonizing 4 hours. But you did it because there was no alternative. You weren't gonna go tell a teacher, you weren't gonna do nothing. You were gonna go and you were gonna fight.
You can't not go.
Yeah, you could not go.
For the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Move schools, dude. You got to keep going.
You know how many times I ran up and punched the guy in the face as hard as I could and had him just look at me?
That's not good.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did I do?
Yeah. That was a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I was fighting hard. It was always blood. I thought I was sweating, but it was always blood. Then I go to the hospital. I was all right though. I thought I came back, black eye, some stitches. Let's go. It was a good way to get validated at school. You were cool. Maybe a girl will give you a little attention. All right. I don't know. I just say we got to fight. That's it. I want to fight. I want to fight with my family. I want to fight, not in a bad way. I want to fight to get things done. I want to fight with you all. I want to fight for my own life. I don't want my life handed to me. I don't want nothing given to me. I want to fight for it. I haven't worked for a man in 11 years. I didn't go punch a clock. I fought for everything I have now. And I didn't, I'm not saying don't punch a clock. I'm saying if you do, go fight there. But that's not the fight I had. The fight I had was try to get myself some money every month without having a job. I still have that fight. Fight for pay your mortgage, fight to keep your stuff, fight to have drug addicts not take your shit, fight to have drug addicts stop breaking your shit. Fight. I don't think people want to fight anymore. They want to just have everything handed. Anyways, you can open it up, man.
All right, let's open it up. So comments, questions, we welcome anything. All you do, I'll raise my hand here. There's a raise your hand feature, depending on your device. If you can't figure that out, you can unmute yourself. You can tell me in the chat that you have a question and we'll get you unmuted. However we can do that. If there's anybody new out there, we'd love to meet you. And who's first? We'll be patient.
I think I'm going to ask a question. It's like, you know, if you can't clearly distinguish the fights in your life right now, then you're not fighting. And after the distinction of this is the fight that I have in my life, what is your current strategy? And if you say this is the fight that I have in my life right now, and then after you say that, you cannot name your current strategy, that's because you're not fighting the fight. You're just using the problem. And I think that happens for a lot of people. They just use the problem to their advantage. They use the problem to blame their life for something. So if you can't go through those steps and go, this is the current fight that I'm fighting, whether it's your weight, addiction, money, whatever it is, then right behind, after you state the fight that you're fighting, you should be able to state your current strategy. And if you can't, that would be very suspicious. And I think the suspicion comes to me because I see it too many times. People are actually glad that problems happen in their life and struggle that happens in their life, because it gives them an excuse. It gives them an excuse to be a failure and just give up.
All right. Who's got something? I know it's brewing. Questions, comments, anything. Okay. All right. If I can turn on your videos, we can get you up on Spotlight. We've got, I think it's Renee, even though it says April. And then we have Crystal will be next. Hi. Hey, it's Renee, right?
Hi. Yeah, it's Renee Raybell. I have not figured out how to change my name ever, so I just left it alone.
Okay. I can't get her on Spotlight without the video, but we can hear you.
Okay, that's good, because right now I don't think you want me on Spotlight. I'm in the middle of making stuffed green peppers, so probably not a pretty scene. But I wanted to reach out to Art, and I wanted to say tonight this meeting was amazing, and how ironic is it that we are the battlefield. You started this battlefield that you're talking about having this fight, and I think that this is a wonderful time for you to put that out there. And for anybody that is new to Battlefield, this is the place to come and battle on this field right here. These are the people that would not walk away. These are the people that would stand behind you. And these are the people that are willing to make that fight with you. So whatever your fight is, or however you're fighting it, Battlefield Addiction is the place for you to step up and make your battle. And Art, I just commend you for putting it out there. And we all have a fight in a different way. I have to agree. But I think it's amazing that if we are going to have a fight, that we start right here. And thank you.
Thank you, Renee.
Really quick, and I want to interject that when we know we're in a fight is when we can say what happened to us factually. And then the major portion of the story is the steps that we took. So when we know we've fought a fight, we can say, this is what happened. And we say it very calmly and very factually. I was an addict. And then this is what I did. I lost my kid to addiction, and this is what I do now. When the major part of the story is the problem, that's the suspicious part, that we might not be in a fight. We don't know the strategy. So I want you to look at those things in your life, and I want you to see those things in your life that you're busy telling. The thick of the story is about what happened. And what we call that on here, if you're a parent and you're talking, it's just problem-focused thinking or problem-focused discussion. And it becomes very alluring, and it becomes very addicting to talk about the problems. And it takes somebody it takes a fighter to say, wait, what? Now what? Let's do something. Okay.
Agreed. All right. Thanks again, Renee. Crystal, let's get you unmuted. Hey, Crystal, it's nice to meet you. Welcome to your first solution group.
Thank you for having me. My name's Crystal, and I have a daughter who's 21, and she's an addict, and it's been going on for, I don't know, about 5 years now. And it's been a real struggle. My parents have been real bad enablers for her, which has been a real struggle for the whole family. They're seeing a little bit more of it now. And I guess I'm just trying to get some help for myself. You know, I try to help her, but there's nothing I can really do for her until she's ready. So yeah.
Who told you that, Crystal?
I kind of just figured that out along the way.
Let me ask you this, Crystal.
Uh-huh.
When you walk into any room, can you make it worse?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So right now with your daughter, is there things that you can do to make it worse?
I'm sure I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You notice how people can always figure out how to make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
People can always figure it out how to make it worse. Now, if I ask you if you can make it worse, how can you not make it better? If you can be a person that can make something worse, How can you not be a person that can make something better? It doesn't make any sense. So when anyone's talking about a situation they're in, they go, there's nothing I can do. Sure you can. You can make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, if you know that you can make it worse, the reason that you can't make it better isn't because you can't make it better. That's not true. The reason that you think you can't make it better is because you do not know how to make it better. And
Correct.
you only know how to make it worse.
Mhm.
So the question isn't, I can't do anything. Whoever told you that was nonsensical and didn't know anything, that you just have to wait for them to be ready. So the thing is that you just don't know how to make it better.
Correct.
What we can start saying is you can go, you know what, with my kid that's an addict, what I need to do is I need to learn how to make it better and not worse. Seems
That's
fairly
right.
simple. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to help you make it better and not worse.
Hmm.
So you can do something there.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There you go. Beautiful. And we're going to meet Crystal tomorrow. So Crystal and Grandma and Grandpa are coming to meet with us tomorrow. So very good.
I don't have time.
Oh.
There's a whole Netflix special of Inventing Anna. I watch it all night.
2 in the morning.
I don't got time for your fight. Plus, I got to worry about cookies, and I can't eat cookies, so I'm going to try not to eat cookies tomorrow.
Oh. So I
We're
should bring.
not gonna allow cookies in the consultation. We're just no cookies allowed. It's just gonna be us.
I want you to take a look at that, though, and I want everyone on here to take a look at that. We in every situation in our life, we know emphatically how to make it worse. We could always do something to make it worse. And yet we leave ourselves and talk about ourselves as if we are always, and that's not just with addiction, it's with everything. You know how to go to your job tomorrow and make it worse. You know how to go to your meeting and with the boss tomorrow and make it worse. You know how to sit in the boardroom and make it worse. And then you'll come home and say, but I just don't know how to make it any better. And then and I can't make it any better. I need somebody else to improve. The thing is you just don't know how to make it better. And you know how to make it worse. So we are this thing that can make anything we do better or worse. We're fully responsible for it. We need to understand that. And if we're not making it better, there's just one reason. It's just because we don't know how. And then it would be simple. Everything I do in my life, I can make it better. I just need to learn how. Whether it can be my job, my relationship with my boss, my relationship with my family. People come on here and they go, I don't know how to make my relationships with my family. I can't make the relationship with there's nothing I can do until they want to change. That's what they say all the time. With my family, with my boss, there's nothing I can do. But you know how to make it worse, which makes it very suspicious.
Yeah, wouldn't it like the start of that would be to just simply not make it worse?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's already it's like making it better in a sense, right?
Yeah. You see a fire and it's burning. Well, don't blow wind on it. Don't spread it. Don't pour gas on it, and already you're doing something to make it better because you're not making it worse. And what we do here at Battlefield is we will teach you for sure how to not make it worse. And then in turn, we will teach you how to make it better. And we've done that over and over and over. And really, you know what? The people that say there's nothing I can do until my addict's ready, they're a bunch of non-fighting pussies. That's who made that up. Really. It's just a bunch of non-fighting, same people that we're talking about. Just pussies. Nothing I can do. How can there be situations in our life that there's nothing we can do? How can that even be true? What a universe if that's the way it is. If there was just nothing we could do at situations in our own life. God, that would be a miserable place to live. There's something we can do about the way our neighbor behaves. There's something we can do about the streets. There's something we can do about anything. Nothing I can do about the homeless problem in Seattle. Yeah, there's something we could do. Something we could do, we get them sober. With the homeless problem in Seattle, you know what no one's ever talking about? You never hear anyone say, we need to get all those people sober. When that is the next step.
when there is no other step. If you have 10,000 people and they all lived in your house, you had a big house and it had 10,000 people, and you were like, what do we do with them? What do we do? What do we do? We just keep bringing in counselors. They don't want to get, you had 10,000 people, you'd say one thing: we got to get them all sober. You cannot work with 10,000 people doing heroin. You'd have to keep bringing in heroin and needles, and it would never end. And you can't do that. That's impossible. So what do you do with the homeless problem in Seattle? Well, you start by getting them sober. Well, we don't have enough treatment. Well, you're going to have to figure it out. Because right now what you're going to do is you're just going to move them from place to place, and they're going to destroy every place that they're at, and they're going to get loaded, and they're going to overdose, and you're going to pay a lot of money, and that's just going to keep going forever. They're not, guess what? Drug addicts on heroin don't clean house very well.
They don't wake up in time.
They don't even use the bathroom properly.
Shower.
So there's something we can do. We can get them all sober. We'll get them sober right in the tents on the streets. We'll go down there with barrels of Suboxone. Well, seriously, we'll go down there, all of us, and we'll talk to them. We'll say, guys, come on, it's time to get sober. You're not going to shit on the street anymore. Let's go. You got 17 hours later in that tent, and I'm going to pop the Suboxone in your mouth. No, we're not taking no for an answer. Has anyone tried that? Then we don't know if there's anything.
By the way, we also shut down the shelter you stay at.
Yeah. There's a camp. We got it built. There's 10,000 beds. You're all going. Let's go. Today. No, not tomorrow. There you go. We've done something about it. Has anyone tried that? No? Then shut up. Quit talking about the problem, because I just gave you a solution. There. Get them sober. What's the first step in getting any drug addict in the history of the world? What's the first step of something to do with any drug addict that's in active addiction? What's the next step?
Getting them sober.
Getting them sober. It's the next step in any addict in the history of the world. There's nothing else to do. Anything else you do with an addict other than get them sober is called what?
A waste of time before that.
Enabling. Anything else you do with somebody using heroin and meth other than getting sober is called enabling, isn't it? We all know that. But they've seemed to lost their mind down there in Seattle. Let's get them a house. Give them yours.
Hotel, buy it.
Yeah. You still want a house? You want them to have a house? Okay, mayor, take them home. Have them come to your house. Make sure you check on them. Make sure you bring the Narcan. Make sure he's got plenty of needles.
There's plenty of retail stores with all your home goods.
Yes. Everyone that's had a heroin addict on this whole thing knows you can't bring an heroin addict into a home. Every single person on here knows that. There's not one person here not qualified to tell the mayor that you can't bring a drug addict into a home.
This is why we can't have nice things.
It's ridiculous.
Carrie's got a question.
Okay.
Hey there.
Hi, Carrie.
Not so much a question, but kind of for Crystal. So, Crystal, I just want you to know that at one time or another, when we start with Art and we say something like we're waiting for something to happen, we all get pretty much the same response. And then he shows us what to do, and we start marching forward. So you're not alone. We've all been there. And then as far as what we're learning from Ukraine and the fight, so I think that everybody here, as far as parents go, I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of fight in the parents, and that's why we're here, and that's why we've done what we've done for so long. But I think the other thing that we can take away from Ukraine and the folks in the room there, the clients and the parents, is that those people that are putting their families on the trains and going back and fighting is because they know and they have supreme confidence in who's next to them when they go back. Is that they're all going back for the same reason. And that's why we're here. And that's what I want all the kids. What?
There's nothing better in life than that camaraderie of being in a fight together.
Yeah. And it could be any fight. It could be a fight for, the big dollars for the monthly sales. That's a fight. And when you're in it, you high five at the end of the month because you made those sales, Could be the fight because you did 30 days. It could be fight because you made it to the top of Mount Peak, whatever it is, and you got people with you. That is cool.
Well, even the
And
class of people, even the people like yourself and all the other people that were at Boeing that are here, there's a lot of Boeing employees, and I don't know if I'm accurate in this statement and if it's changed, but I do know I remember a time in the 80s and 90s where the fighters of Washington State all worked for Boeing. And you were a badass if you worked there. And I remember the type of people that worked there and the camaraderie that was at Boeing. And I don't know if that's changed or not, but I remember it.
Speaking of Boeing, thank you to all of you Boeing donors that are turning in your, so if you've donated to Battlefield and you turn in the amount you have donated, they match it. And we just got another $600 check for that from Boeing. So Boeing, it adds up really quick. So thank you to all of you Boeing people who take the time to do that. And Nordstrom's and Costco and any company that has a match we qualify for. It just, Boeing happens to be the largest check that we get for matching, which is pretty cool. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome. Well, I just want all
the
the gang in the room there to know that they've everybody on the phone sitting next to them on the Zoom meeting is right there with them.
Don't baby them, Carrie.
Don't what?
Don't baby them.
Okay, you little punks, stop it. Get off the goddamn phone.
That's better. That's better. I like that, Carrie. I liked hearing that from you. Okay, you punks. That was good. Little punks.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Fight
Carrie.
entitlement with babying. By the way, when you say Boeing, it still sounds like Boeing.
Boing.
No matter how you say it, if you say it, it's Boeing.
Boing,
Boing,
boing.
Boeing, Boeing. And if you know, no matter what, when I was a kid, I used to say that word over and over and over, Boeing. And then it sounds like you're saying Boeing really slow, you know? Boeing.
Boing,
Boing.
That's the first stop, dude.
Yeah. I used to say it real slow. Boeing. No matter how I say it, it sounds like Boeing. I don't know.
Hey, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to stick another link in the chat. What this link is, you guys, if you are not on our text reminder list, if you did not get a text reminder today about group tonight, that means you're not on that list. So it's separate from my number. It's just a text group or whatever. If you're not already on that, you can click that link and sign up. So you always get text reminders when there's any changes or just reminders every week. So be sure and sign up so you're on there. All right, who else?
I'm trying to leave time for everyone and not.
Yeah, we got like a good 20 minutes. So let's go. Let's be patient because I know towards the end, that's when everybody gets real talkative and thinks of things. This is your opportunity. And tomorrow night is an opportunity for anybody who still wants to jump in and sign up for the group coaching tomorrow night. You can do so. The link's also in the chat. Group coaching is an opportunity to get that interaction in person for anything that you're dealing with right now. So there's
I used to yell at these kids. I used to yell at these kids and they used to get mad at me. They don't get mad at me anymore, man. You guys don't fight enough with me either.
Well, it's because we've all figured out that you're so full of shit.
Oh! Says Logan.
Says Logan.
Oh, wow. No, you all know I'm just too nice in the end. And I give in. Yeah. Yeah.
Is yours too right all the time?
Yeah.
It's so hard to fight when you just lose.
Yeah. I love it. Say it more. Did you hear it?
You're always right.
Yes. Yes. They don't even fight me about me being right all the time. Oh.
We all aspire to finally be right and to win a debate with Art. Doesn't happen. Hey, Angela.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, always agree with Art. He's always right. I'll verify that.
Stop.
No, seriously, the whole fight thing, you're absolutely right. Because I fought, I gave up, I fought, I gave up, I fought, I gave up, and I fought, and it finally resonated and sunk in, and I'm living a better life. My son's living a better life, and I owe it all to you and Angie and Kristen and Becky and everybody that's helped with that. And I agree 100%. Fight, fight, fight.
Yeah. We got to get some toughness going on in this world.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you, Angela. Thanks for always being here. Angela's from Virginia.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah.
West Virginia.
I missed the last
my
couple
sister's in Virginia. You're West Virginia.
Right, right.
Okay.
Yeah, I missed the last couple weeks, job change and a bunch of other stuff, but
well, we've got the recordings.
Yeah.
And that's another thing to mention out there to everybody is if you ever miss a week or if you ever want to watch again on YouTube, our YouTube channel, Battlefield Addiction, if you're not technologically, inclined, you're always welcome just to text me and say, hey, can you send me that recording? I'm happy to send it to you. So you're never bugging me. You can message me every week if you need it. But it is listed on the YouTube channel. So in fact, we've got like 5 years, 6 years worth of library. Mm-hmm. All of it's not public, but I'm willing to share it with everybody. But a gazillion aren't just listed there, but we have a gazillion available. Oh, Nico just put it in the chat. So there you go. I know I always review. I review like tomorrow morning. I'll be listening. It's just automatically what I do is I re-listen the next day. So yeah.
That phone call come in, my friend would call and say, hey, this is kind of for all you, but we would be at an apartment partying or drinking or something. And that phone call would come in from my buddy. Hey, there's some guys messing with us down here at the Jack in the Box parking lot. Yeah. And, then that was the best time. It was like this energy would ramp up. You're ramping up for a fight. That energy is some of the coolest energy. And I still, to this day, look in my life and I still get that same kind of thing, but it's different fights. And I love that ramping up for a fight energy. I love when someone brings a fight to me. I love when life brings a fight to me. I love when it's coming. I love when I see it about to come up and show up. And that energy of ramping up for a fight and then knowing that you're going to have to take something on. That's the building of your identity. Listen, if you think at the bottom that the foundation of your identity doesn't have to be tough, then what would it be? If it doesn't have to be a fighter, if it doesn't have to be a conqueror, if it doesn't have to be somebody that beats things, if you don't have to be that, then what would you have to be? Taken down by things, victim? And I think too many people are telling these stories over and over about what happened. And they're leaving out what they did about it. It's like not even something that they care to add in or even think that they need to. It's like life just showed up for you in a fighting way. Why don't you want to fight back? What are you going to do?
It's like finding a whole character based on your past instead of like fighting, right? To like create a better future, which in turn becomes a better past, right?
And social media has done this because it seems like somebody can just post on Facebook that somebody did something to them. And that's their whole like way they fought back. That's it. It's never a story like, hey, my boyfriend cheated on me, so here is the videos of me burning up his entire clothing wardrobe. That's never there. It's like, no, it's like my boyfriend cheated. That's the whole story.
Cue cards.
That's it. You know, it's never like, well, what'd you do? Well, I did nothing. I just post on Facebook what happened to me. And that's just what people do now. There's no honor in that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the real story is he left me because, like,
oh yeah, they're not even being truthful.
I'm
yeah.
a complete bitch. You know? So he left me and then hooked up with another chick.
Yeah.
They paint the pictures. He just cheated on me. You know.
Yeah, I think it's good enough to say my boss wrongly fired me, and what we should do is we should cancel him. Not even knowing his side of the story, we should just cancel him, and we'll just put on Facebook that I got fired for something I didn't do.
He's racist.
Yeah. We'll just cut. There's no longer a fight. I guess that is the thing. Hey, let me just.
Sherry has something in the chat here. So it says, when the energy is low and you don't feel like you can fight anymore, is it community, peers, and friends? I'm sure people have those moments when it's hard to keep up the fight. If you have anything to add, I unmuted you there, Sherry.
To add, Guy has lemon ice cream. That's what I'm adding. He's got lemon ice cream today. It's really good.
No.
Oh, you're muted again. I don't know why. It doesn't say muted this time. It sounds like a thing got disconnected. Can I hear you? No. Yeah, it sounds like something got unplugged because it still says your microphone's on. Nope. And Carrie answered Sherry in the chat. There we go. Maybe. No, that was Sherry's sound. Yeah, your sound is off, guys. The sound just cut completely. Nothing.
I was just going to add that for Crystal, that, you know, we see it, and I remember being exactly in your spot, and it's one of those things where it's like so many of us moms have been in that spot with you, where you're just like, yeah, I don't even know what to do, and you know, that's one of those places where you're like, okay, now this is where the community steps in and helps you, and we're here to kind of like back you up and say, it's like, yep, we got you.
Yeah, so thank you for that, Sherry. And so many of these families that you see here, Crystal, will say the same thing. Everybody started with a consultation, so you've done the right thing, and that's a good starting point. That allows us to kind of start the process. Still no sound. So while there's no sound here, let me just a reminder for anybody who jumped on late, Run for Recovery. If anybody missed this, it is coming up on May 7th. We're excited to do a live event because COVID has gotten in the way of us doing any live events for 2 years now. So we have missed it, but it is on for May 7th, Saturday, May 7th. That will be our Run for Recovery. We will be launching the details and registration on the first day of spring, which is March 20th. And I'm just looking for as many of you as possible that can help me promote this event and spend an hour that day shooting out to all your family and friends beyond Battlefield. We just want the entire community to come together. There's going to be a virtual option and a live option, all the above, and everything will be, all the details will come out a couple days before for you to be prepared to shoot it all out on March 20th. So I'll make sure you have everything you need. So we're going to be asking for everybody's help. Still nothing, guys. What else do I got? What else do I got in my back pocket here? Let's Angela. Maybe she's got some questions on Run for Recovery.
Well, yeah, I did. On the launch thing, is that just like us getting the word out to our families, or is there something in person? Because I can't be in person, you know that.
Yeah. So our registration page will go live. And then all of my launch team will just be, and all of you guys will be just sharing it to all your friends via email, via social media, whatever avenues you communicate to your network. Those of you who are highly connected, I know Christy Guadalupe is going to help. She's got a great network in her Arbonne business, and she's going to help by shooting it out. If you are well connected, I know Sherry Pennington's well connected in the Kent schools, et cetera, et cetera. We just want to shoot a message out to everybody, letting them know about this event. We're raising funds for Battlefield, so if we can get as many registrations as possible, whether it be virtual, whether it be live, and all the details will be included to make it easy to copy and paste. And share, spread the word. People will be able to register for themselves. People will also be able to sponsor somebody in recovery to run the walk as well. They'll get a t-shirt, all that kind of fun stuff. So all those details are coming. So again, this is our first event in 2 years, so we're pretty excited about it. We haven't been able to do any live fundraising events. So we need this event to be good, and it's going to be fun. All right, so was that Art?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
Got it.
Phew.
I didn't hear what Sherry said. She was just giving support to Crystal, I take it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna I think I'll just close it up.
Great.
And I want to make sure that we take away the meaning of what I wanted to distinguish tonight. And I think that what I see is that we've adopted this culture that thinks having the problem is good enough. And really, once they've grabbed a hold that they have this problem, it seems to be that there is enough validation through social media and support groups and things like that one could get caught just living with the problem and having that problem then turn into their identity. And that seems to be going on everywhere. And anytime that you will see, just so you guys know, anytime there's a perpetual problem, one that doesn't get fixed, it'll be due to the fact that somebody's turned that problem into their identity and they need the problem. And that seems to be what's going on. And very, very prevalent in addiction is that somebody starts basing their identity on being an addict. And what would an addict have to do to keep that identity? Well, in order for an addict to keep the identity of an addict and to keep calling themselves an addict, they're going to have to do addict type shit. Really? I mean, how long can you go with the identity of an addict without doing addict shit? Which means you're going to have to not beat it, which means you're going to have to keep it your whole life, which means you're going to have to go to places and say you're an addict, which means you're going to have to keep saying your name and then addict after all that. And I don't buy into none of that bullshit. I think it's bullshit, and it took me a long time to stand up against that. Hi, my name is Art, and I'm an addict. I'm not. I beat that shit 11 years ago. I'm not an addict. I'm not addicted to nothing. So I'm not going to say that's my identity. It was just a factual thing that happened in my life. And to me, every single problem is that way. It's just something that happened. But my identity and who I am is based upon how I handled what happened. That's where the identity is built. So we got to stop looking at the problem and start looking at how you're handling the problem. Start looking at who you're becoming because of the problem. Start thanking these problems. Start saying in your life, thank God for that one, because that made me who I am in this way. And now as I got through that one and I beat that one, I'm standing here waiting for the next one. I'm not so stupid or naive to think that the next one isn't coming. Whatever fight you're currently in, you got to beat it because there's another one for you. And if you don't, you can stay in the same fight your whole life and have it just be miserable and give up if you want. And no other fight will ever show up because you haven't beat this one. But guess what? You guys got more. Guess what? After you get done fighting addiction, I'll tell you how it goes next. You're going to have to fight relationships, sex with women and men. You're going to have to fight gambling issues. You're going to have to fight food issues. You're going to have to fight financial issues. You're going to have to fight credit issues. You're going to have to fight dental issues. You're going to have to fight health issues. You're going to fight family issues. All those issues are still waiting for you to fight. But they'll be there the minute you're done beating this one. But they will not go away. But they'll be saved for you.
Mhm.
But if you don't start doing it, you're not going to get to that point of conquering, standing on the top of the mountaintop at like, you know, the lot of the retired folks that are on here don't really have these issues in their life anymore. They golf and they help Battlefield. So they help with other people's issues, and they go to the Little Creek Casino and play some slots and have some lunch. And that's what they do, because now the fight is over for them in a lot of these issues. They're going to have some coming up, though. They're going to have their health issues, and they're going to have those fights, and they're always coming around the corner. So the deal with tonight is, please look at it. If something has shown up for you and you're fighting it, there's one thing. One, I'm in a fight. Two, here's my strategy. And if you can't say, I'm in a fight and here's my strategy, then you're probably using that fight as your identity. And you're probably going to be stuck with it for a long time, unless you get to the point of solution. So I see it everywhere. People are just okay with having the problem. In fact, it's gotten worse than people being okay. They get something wrong at the doctor's, and they immediately get on Facebook and tell everybody what they got wrong, you know, what's wrong with them. And that seems to be just they're actually happy that they got that diagnosis today at the doctor.
The attention.
Yes. They're elated. They can get home and just post that they got this, and then the stuff comes in and that's it. So then they need the problem to continue, because guess what? They got high on Thursday night, because on Thursday night they posted they had this ailment and they got 155 comments and thoughts and prayers. And so now what are they going to have next Thursday? They need that same problem there, or they need to get a new one, or they need to get something that they can get that same level of validation. 150. Ooh, I don't have any other posts. Look at your Facebook. If your problems are predominantly getting the most likes and comments, you're probably in the state that I'm discussing right now. Very, very dangerous. So we call it solution group, and I hope that tonight you can see that that's what it is. And the solution is to fight, and the solution is to have a strategy, and it's to know that you have a fight and to know that you have a strategy. And if you don't know those things, then you're not even in the fight and you're not in the solution. So again, and I'm ready to fight anything right now. You get bored without a fight. You get bored without things to fight. That's how life is. And it's fun when you're fighting, because you get to win. And it's fun when you win. It's fun when the world restores itself and you get to see where you're at and where you landed and how you stayed on your feet and how you kept your head up and how you acted and how you conducted yourself. It's how you figure out who you are. It's how you figure out what your identity really is. This is what you get known for. So again, I hope you guys all continue to fight, and I hope it inspired you to do so this week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.